Namaste, my name is Divya Nathani. I am a yoga teacher and personal counselor with the Yoga Institute Mumbai, which is the oldest organized center for learning and practicing yoga in its traditional classical form. Today I am going to talk to you about one of the most important lessons that I have learned during my own journey of learning yoga for wellness, for self-development, for personal growth. And this is going to be about how we can be our own true self. One of the most important things that we need to do in this process is what is known as congruence in our thoughts, speech, and actions. And one might wonder, how is that connected to anything to do with self-improvement, being true self, being in touch with your own true self? Here, what becomes very important to understand is that most of the times, most of us are struggling to actually find out why we are not able to convince others of what we want to tell them. People often complain, nobody understands me, and that is when I ask them, do you really understand yourself? This happens when we think something but say something else and do something else altogether. And that is where congruence in our thoughts, words, and actions becomes very important. Now, if we feel that our thoughts are such that they cannot be really spoken, they are going to offend others, they are going to create troubles for us or for others, then we really need to check what kind of thoughts we are having. And this is where yoga comes into the picture, of being self-aware, of knowing how our mind is working and learning to think in a proper guided way. Our thoughts should be reflected in what we speak. If our speech is going to be such that is going to create problems for us or for others, we have to learn to control how we speak, what we speak. And then, of course, our actions. Very often people say something and do something else altogether. We overcome it, or we promise something to deliver at a certain time and we are not serious about doing that. This is when commitment or seriousness becomes an issue, and this is definitely going to cause problems related to people trusting us. And definitely, therefore, we have to learn to honor our own words. How can anybody else respect what we say unless we ourselves learn to respect our own words? And therefore, we have to be absolutely conscious and aware of what we are speaking, and are we really delivering what we promise? And this is where congruence in our thoughts, speech, and actions comes into the picture. The other important point here is learning and understanding about our own weaknesses, about the problem areas that we need to work on. There is no point in being in what we know as denial. At the level of denial, we are neither going to be able to help ourselves or improve ourselves, whether it is personal life or professional life that we're talking about. Step one is going to be accepting our own problem areas and then working on these areas. This is where Swadhyaya, a technique from the Niyams, which is the rules, basic rules and regulations that we observe in the Ashtanga Yoga, the second step of Ashtanga Yoga, comes into the picture. Unless we are able to analyze ourselves, unless we are able to find our problem areas that we need to work on, that we need to improve upon, what is going to be our idea of self-development or self-improvement? And therefore, understanding our weaknesses, understanding the key areas that we need to work on, whether it is learning to speak properly, whether it is overcoming certain weaknesses like overeating, overspeaking, arguing, overthinking, any of these weaknesses, first thing first, we need to identify and accept that yes, I do have this problem and I need to do something about it. Unless we clear this step, how can we move further at all? Very often, we compare ourselves with others or we idolize certain people and we feel, wow, they have such wonderful qualities and I'm good for nothing. No, that's not true. We need to identify our own unique qualities. We are all created, we are all here in this world for a certain purpose. It just depends on have we identified that purpose. So we need to find out, identify, accept and embrace our unique qualities. These very qualities are what is going to define us as ourselves. Unless we are able to accept our qualities, unique qualities, we will always be in search of whom should I follow, whom should I idolize, whom should I be like, and never be able to open this gift package that we have been presented with. It's perfectly fine to have certain feelings and desires, but we need to identify them, we need to accept them, we need to be honest about them. It's no point telling lies about what we truly feel. If we are not happy with what we feel or desire, first thing first, we need to accept and then see why is it that we do not like these feelings or desires, and then act upon what we have identified accordingly. We need to therefore change what we feel instead of being in denial, and being honest is an absolute must. To sum up what I have just been talking about, we can cultivate a genuine relationship. We can have a fulfilling life only and only when we are grounded in self-respect and integrity, which are a natural outcome of being honest, of being genuine, of being in congruence with our thoughts, speech, and actions. Namaste.